Right now, as you go about your day, someone in your life is manipulating you. It might be a coworker who always makes you feel guilty for leaving on time. It might be a friend who showers you with attention one week and ignores you the next. It might be a partner who tells you that the argument you clearly remember never actually happened. Manipulation isn't always obvious. In fact, the best manipulators make you think everything is your idea. They make you question your own memory, your own feelings, your own sanity. And the scariest part? Most of them don't even know they're doing it. These techniques are so deeply embedded in human social behavior that many manipulators use them instinctively, learned patterns from childhood, reinforced by years of getting what they want. Today, I'm going to show you the 7 most common dark psychology techniques used on ordinary people every single day. By the end of this video, you'll see them everywhere. And once you see them, they stop working. That's the power of awareness. Let's begin with number 7. Imagine you meet someone new. A romantic partner, a new friend, a new boss. And from the very first interaction, they make you feel like the most important person in the world. Constant texts. Extravagant compliments. Gifts. Attention. They tell you you're special, that they've never met anyone like you, that they feel a connection they can't explain. It feels incredible. Like a fairy tale. Like you finally found the person who truly sees you. But love bombing isn't love. It's a strategy. Psychologists describe love bombing as an attempt to influence a person by lavish demonstrations of attention and affection. The goal isn't to make you happy, it's to make you dependent. Because once you're addicted to that level of attention, the manipulator can control you by threatening to withdraw it. And they always withdraw it. That's the second phase, the devaluation. But constant praise becomes occasional. Then rare. Then replaced by criticism. And by then, you're so desperate to get back to the golden phase that you'll do anything they ask. Red flag to watch for: if someone's affection feels too intense too fast, like they're performing love rather than feeling it, trust your instinct. Real love builds. It doesn't bomb. The term comes from a 1944 film where a husband systematically makes his wife doubt her own perception of reality by dimming the gas lights in their home and then denying that the lights have changed. 80 years later, the technique is exactly the same. Only the lights are different. Gaslighting is when someone makes you question your own memory, perception, or sanity. That never happened. You're imagining things. I never said that. You must be confused. Why are you so sensitive? It was just a joke. These aren't disagreements. They're deliberate attempts to rewrite your reality. The most dangerous thing about gaslighting is that it's cumulative. One instance is confusing. 10 instances are destabilizing. 100 instances, spread over months or years, can make a perfectly rational person genuinely believe they're losing their mind. Studies by psychologist Robin Stern have shown that gaslighting victims often exhibit symptoms similar to PTSD, hypervigilance, chronic self-doubt, and an inability to trust their own judgment. How to protect yourself: keep a journal. Write down what happened, what was said, and when. When someone tries to rewrite the story, you'll have your own record. Gaslighting can't survive documentation. Most people think the silent treatment is just someone being sulky or immature. It's not. When used deliberately, the silent treatment is one of the most psychologically damaging forms of emotional manipulation. Here's why it works. Human beings are social creatures. Our brains are wired to seek connection and belonging. When someone suddenly withdraws all communication, no talking, no texting, no eye contact, your brain interprets it the same way it interprets physical pain. Neuroscience research from the University of Michigan has shown that social rejection activates the same brain regions as being punched. The silent treatment literally hurts. Manipulators know this, even if only subconsciously. By withdrawing attention, they create anxiety, desperation, and self-blame in their target. The victim starts replaying every interaction, searching for what they did wrong, willing to apologize for things that don't require an apology, just to make the silence stop. The key distinction: there's a difference between needing space to cool down, which is healthy, and using silence as punishment. If someone tells you, "I need some time to think," that's communication. If someone disappears for 3 days and then acts like nothing happened without ever addressing the issue, that's control. After everything I've done for you, I guess I'm just not important enough. No, go have fun with your friends. I'll just be here. Alone. Guilt tripping is manipulation disguised as vulnerability. It weaponizes your empathy against you. The manipulator positions themselves as the victim of your completely normal, reasonable behavior, setting a boundary, spending time with others, saying no to a request, and makes you feel like a monster for having needs of your own. What makes guilt tripping so effective is that it targets good people. Narcissists don't guilt trip other narcissists, it doesn't work. They target empaths. People pleasers. People who care deeply about others' feelings. If you're the kind of person who feels responsible for everyone else's happiness, you are a perfect target for guilt tripping. The psychology behind it is simple. By making you feel guilty, the manipulator transfers emotional responsibility onto you. Your boundary becomes their suffering. Your independence becomes their abandonment. Your life becomes something you need their permission to live. Defense: recognize that feeling guilty and being guilty are two different things. You can feel guilty about saying no without actually having done anything wrong. Ask yourself, if a friend described this situation to me, would I tell them they should feel guilty? If the answer is no, trust that. This is the technique most people have never heard of, and it might be the most destructive one on this list. Triangulation is when a manipulator brings a third person into your relationship, real or imagined, to make you feel insecure, jealous, or inadequate. My ex was so understanding. She never complained about things like this. My coworker Sarah thinks I'm right about this, by the way. I was talking to my mother, and she agrees that you're being unreasonable. Every one of these statements is designed to do the same thing: make you feel like you're outnumbered, like the problem is you, like everyone else sees something you don't. Narcissists use triangulation constantly. They maintain a roster of people, exes, friends, family members, coworkers, who can be deployed as emotional weapons whenever you start setting boundaries or questioning their behavior. The genius of it is that the third person often has no idea they're being used. The manipulator tells you one version of events and tells the third person another, keeping everyone off balance and competing for their approval. This is why, if you're dealing with a narcissist, they always seem to have a special relationship with someone that makes you feel threatened. It's not an accident. It's architecture. You did everything they asked. You changed your behavior. You apologized. You made the sacrifice. And then they changed what they wanted. The goal moved. And now you have to start all over again. Moving the goalposts is a manipulation technique where the criteria for approval are constantly changed so that the target can never fully succeed. If you just did X, everything would be fine. So you do X. Well, X wasn't really the problem. The real issue is Y, so you do Y. Actually, now that you mention it, I think it's more about Z. This creates a psychological trap. You're always one change away from being good enough, but that one change is always being redefined. It's the hamster wheel of emotional manipulation. You keep running, you keep trying, and the destination keeps moving. In toxic workplaces, this shows up as performance standards that shift every quarter. In relationships, it shows up as a partner who's never quite satisfied no matter what you do. The common thread is that the manipulator has no intention of ever letting you reach the goal. Because if you reached it, they'd lose their leverage. Defense: when you notice the pattern, when you've met the requirement 3 times and it's changed 3 times, stop running. The goal was never the goal. Control was the goal. Number 1. The most insidious manipulation technique of all. Future faking. It's when someone makes promises about the future to control your behavior in the present. Next year, we'll take that vacation. Once I get this promotion, everything will change. I'm going to be better. Just give me one more chance. Future faking is devastating because it hijacks hope. It takes your natural, healthy desire for a better future and turns it into a leash. As long as you believe the promise, you'll tolerate the present. You'll stay in the bad relationship. You'll keep working the dead-end job. You'll keep giving chances to someone who has no intention of changing. What makes future faking different from genuine intention is pattern. Everyone makes promises they struggle to keep. That's human. But a future faker makes the same promise repeatedly without ever making progress toward it. The vacation gets postponed every year. The behavior never improves. The change is always coming but never arrives. Psychologist Ramani Durvasula calls future faking the manipulation tactic that keeps people stuck the longest because it's nearly impossible to prove. You can't prove someone doesn't intend to keep a promise. You can only watch, over months and years, as the future they describe never materializes. Defense: judge people by their patterns, not their promises. If someone has promised the same thing 3 times without delivering, the promise itself is the manipulation. Stop listening to what they're going to do. Start paying attention to what they've done. Here's the uncomfortable truth about all 7 of these techniques. They only work on people who care. People who want to be good partners, good employees, good friends, good humans. Manipulators don't target cold, detached people. They target warm ones. Your empathy, your loyalty, your desire to make things work, those are beautiful qualities. But they're also vulnerabilities if you don't protect them. So here are 3 rules that will make you nearly immune to manipulation. First, trust behavior over words. What someone does repeatedly is who they are. What they say they'll do is who they want you to think they are. Second, maintain your own reality. Keep a journal. Talk to trusted friends. Don't let anyone be the sole interpreter of your experience. Third, learn to sit with guilt. Manipulators count on your inability to tolerate feeling bad. The moment you can say, "I feel guilty, but I'm not wrong," their power over you disappears. Which technique on this list surprised you the most? Have you experienced any of them? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to understand the darker side of human behavior so you can protect yourself from it, subscribe to Mind Unlocked. New videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Knowledge is your best defense.